welcome back to A Rollins Ever After with Katrina
and Theyre.
So today we wanted to talk about, what do you look for in a potential spouse? I feel like a lot of times people look at characteristics that can change, like height, weight. They look at wealth, what type of job you have, what type of car you have, what type of house you have, your health. But those things can always change. So we want to talk about what you really should be looking for when you're determining whether this is someone you want to marry or build a long-term relationship with. So from like a male perspective, what were you really looking for in a spouse, and what do you think most men kind of focus on? Of course, everyone's different, but just a generalization of what you think men focus on and what you think they actually should be looking for.
I'll start for myself.
Okay.
A few things that I was looking for as far as who I would marry. And these aren't things that I had been looking for all at once. I didn't say, okay, I just want to have all these things right now. But I did feel that the person that I would marry would ultimately have at least a few of these different things. First thing was, I would say, their own independence. Like, I wanted someone to have their own goals and not just have the goals that are kind of tied into me. Like, I've talked to people before, had relationships before where the goals were only just centered around what I had going on. And I wanted to have someone who had their own goals independent of me. Like, I wanted you to want to be someone, not just want to be, my wife. I wanted you to have your own goals and your own ambition.
Just to jump in there, like, actually, for me as a woman, I've dated someone in the past who the same thing, it was just all about centered around my goals, and it's like they were just trying to be integrated into my life, but not really showing, okay, what could we build together? So that was definitely a turn off for me, because same thing, I want to feel like that person has their own dreams that they can bring to the table. Because when I think of marriage, I think of elevating, and it's hard to do that. The person is just kind of, okay, whatever you want to do, whatever you
whatever you want to do type person. Like, I want to be able to have my thoughts, you have your thoughts, and you contribute.
Right. And also, like, challenge me. I didn't want someone who was just going to be like a yes man. I wanted someone who will tell me, okay, what you're doing is not right. You need to fix this. That's definitely what Theyre does for me. And because of that, I am better than when we first got married. So you definitely need that. Not just someone who's going to enable your bad behavior and not challenge you.
Right. And another thing that was super important for me, I'm sure it was important for you as well, was just intelligence. It kind of can sound like the same thing as far as someone being driven and intelligence, but it is different. I wanted someone who I felt like her intellect matches my own. I read a lot. I feel like I'm just very into what's going on. I wanted someone that also could contribute to the conversation, not just the everyday conversation about work or your everyday conversation about, fun. I wanted to have someone that could talk to me about, not our civilization, but our community. I wanted someone who could be able to move the conversation forward in different areas and not just, your everyday stuff. I wanted someone that thinks 10 years ahead of time. What about you?
Yeah, that's very important. So actually, one of the things I was going to mention, you want someone who is your best friend, because you want to be able to talk about, like, exactly what he's saying, more than just the romantic aspect. Like, that whole honeymoon, like, it's all about the physical aspect. I mean, come on, after a while, that's not going to be the main part of the relationship.
Like, what else is there?
Right. You need something else of substance to sustain your relationship. So I definitely agree. I wanted someone who I could have deep, significant significant, thoughtful conversations with, who I could actually strategize with. If there's an issue, we can come up with solutions together. I didn't want to be the one who's like solely responsible for thinking about those bigger issues. So you want someone with some substance. I hate to say it, not shallow, because some people are very shallow and only care about the materialistic stuff. But I wanted someone who really wanted to know me on a deeper level, and who I can get to know on a deeper level, and that we just enjoy each other's company. Like, we have fun, we're companions. Once you're in a real good, happy, stable marriage, you're going to see the physical aspect is one part that's very important and very wonderful and great, but you're going to see it's one part, it's not everything. So you're in a relationship where that is just overwhelming the relationship. That's a red flag, because whenever that fire may sizzle, because just through life it has to sizzle, you have to spark it back up, sizzle, spark it back up. You need something during that time of sizzle to keep the relationship and that friendship going. And that's what helps things re-spark, because you actually are attracted to that person on a deeper and emotional level.
And character, for me, one of the biggest things probably is character. Like, and when you say character, a lot of people will say, what exactly do you mean when you say character? For me, I would define character as, how does this person treat other people? Not how you treat me. If someone likes me, if you're attracted to me, if you want me and we're together, you're trying to impress me, I expect you to treat me good. But, I want to know how you treat the waiter when we go to the restaurant. I want to know how you treat the janitor. How do you treat people who you're in a position where you feel like maybe, you can talk to them any kind of way. Things like that are a huge turn off for me. It probably is for most of you. But those are things that I was looking into also, when deciding, is this someone that I would want to spend my life with? How does this person treat other people? Or do you have just a nasty attitude? There's some women that just have a nasty attitude.
And some men.
And it's just not a lot. There's just people who have a nasty attitude, who just are always in a bad mood. And things like that, I'm more of like a positive spirit. So if you're always in a bad mood, or you're always have a negative spirit, or you're always treating people, in a nasty way, it's a huge turn off for me. So that's something for me as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that. And also how that person treats their parents, how other people in their family. Theyre is a very giving person, open person. And that's one of the things I really value about him. I can tell that family is important to him, and that's a great trait to have, because you want to make sure this person you're starting a life with is going to take the family you're building seriously.
Right.
So you want to look at the relationships close to them. And to piggyback off of what you said, yeah, obviously the person's going to be very nice to you when you first meet, but how they treat other people, pay attention, because once they're done putting on that act for the first couple of months, their true colors will come out, because people can only pretend for so long. So if they have the ability to treat someone who they think is on a lower level than them nasty, ultimately they're going to treat you nasty as well, if you do something that whatever they don't agree with, like things like that. The other thing I wanted to talk about was, you were talking about, you're optimistic, you don't want to be around someone who's pessimistic. So I also think that's a good thing to look for. You want someone who is positive, who supports you and can speak life into you. Right. I've met so many women who have told me, I was married before, but he did not encourage me to go to school, finish school, chase this dream, told me I would never amount to anything, and just really brought them down. that's not the type of relationship you want to be in. So if you're with someone and they're telling you you can't do that, just bringing you down, discouraging you, complaining because you're trying to do something to better yourself, that's a red flag. You want someone who, no matter how crazy your dreams seem, because I have crazy dreams, but he supports me. He makes me feel like I can do it. And you know what? That's why I am, because I have someone like that in my corner. And a lot of successful people will tell you if they're married, they got to where they are because they have their spouse support. If you have someone pulling you down, it's going to make it a million times more difficult to get to the next level. Right. Not impossible, but it is going to make it more difficult because as you're trying to go up, somebody's literally pulling you down. Right. You need someone who's helping to push you up so you can get there faster and happier. So that's definitely something to look for.
Right. And one of the bigger things is you want to make sure that this person that you're thinking of, that maybe that you're trying to marry, you got to make sure that this person has goals and dreams that align with your goals and dreams to an extent. It doesn't have to be the exact same thing. Like we talked about last week, how she wanted a certain dream. She wanted to travel the world. I wanted security. And together we kind of merged the two to create the life that we live today. But at the same time, you don't want someone whose dreams are so polar opposite to what it is that you want, or are so much lower or higher than what it is that you want, that you can't, then it's not realistic. You want it to also be realistic. If I'm a person that loves kids, and I make it very known that I want to have kids, and then you have a woman or a man that says, I don't want to have kids at all. That's not something I want to do. Listen to these people. So it's not, you don't want to just get married with someone and you have two huge deciding factors that are different. You don't want to have, you're thinking of one thing and they're thinking of something completely different, because that will manifest itself later in that marriage. And that's how a lot of people that I know who are married or who have been married, haven't worked out, because it's actually things that they knew from the beginning would be an issue, but they chose to move forward with it, even knowing that it would be an issue.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just about to say that about the kids. But not only that, also if you're are looking to be in a long-term relationship, if that person is telling you they don't want to get married,
believe them.
Okay, don't sit around for years and years and then be mad when they don't marry you.
Right.
They told you they don't want to get married.
Right.
They don't want to have kids. They will never want to move. They told you these things.
Right.
I think a lot of time we feel that, I can change their mind. They'll change their mind. They're just saying that now. They're not going to feel like that in 10 years.
No.
A lot of times they still feel that way. And now you're mad and you're upset and you're stuck. You're either stuck or now it's like, okay, I'm done with this person. I'm starting over now. So don't waste your time. When someone tells you this is how they feel, this is how they feel. And I know a lot of women, especially, they think, okay, he just doesn't want something serious right now. No, he don't want something serious with you. Because a lot of times y'all will break up and 2 weeks later he marrying somebody else. Yeah. Right. So please do not fall for the potential. Believe what they're actually telling you.
And that's another thing too that I think is actually, it's funny, just, being married, you really start seeing the differences in men and women. And there are general differences. Obviously, there's exception to the rule. But for the most part, men, we're very direct as far as explaining what it is that we want and we do not want. And women are the same, but a lot of times I notice that the woman will try to explain away a certain thing. Like you'll try to, if he tells you, no, I'm not trying to get married, you would say, well, and not just women, I guess other people, whoever, but they'll say, well, he said that, but look at how he's doing. They're looking at action. Women are looking at action. But men, basically for the most part, what we say is what we mean. So a nice pointer for a woman that's trying to get married, who maybe, like you're saying, they may be dealing with a guy who it seems like you're doing all the things that would lead to a person getting married in the future. You're courting, you're having sex, you're spending time together, you've met his family and he's met your family, but at the same time, he's telling you that I'm not looking for something serious. So if that's what he's saying, believe it, run and go on to the next person, because guess what? Either A, there's another guy around the corner who is looking for the things that you're looking for, or B, that guy who was, that you have been dealing with, he'll wake up and he'll step up, and then you'll have the choice whether to continue with that guy or to leave him in your past.
Yeah, and this is actually slightly off topic, but I just had to make this point because of what you said. People are going to do what you let them do. So if you're saying, oh, marriage is really important to me, and he's saying he don't want to get married, and you're still fooling around with him and giving him stuff that wives should be giving their husband,
right,
you're telling him, okay, I accept this. So you may be saying one thing, but your actions are saying something else.
right.
And they know, okay, it's fine. I can use her. I can get whatever I want out of her or him, because they're accepting it. They know what it is. I told them what it is, and they're still here. So like Theyre said, if you decide to move on from that relationship, they may just say, okay, well, I wasn't looking for nothing serious anyways. And then you could go be with someone who is. Or they may realize, oh, you know what? I really miss having this person in my life. I realize my feelings are a lot stronger.
Right.
And now they're chasing you and doing what they have to do to be in your life. But if you sit there and accept it, you're basically telling them, I'm okay with it. You don't have to change. I don't really want what I say I want, because I'm just here chilling, putting up with what you're offering.
Right. And one thing I wanted to make known, to make sure that we've said, this doesn't mean that you cannot have situationships. There's people who are mutually having situationships. You're dealing with this person, you guys have an understanding. And if that's the case, you have your understanding, you have fun, because that's your mutual understanding. I'm just talking about those one-sided situationships, right, where one person is thinking that it's something else, and the other person has been clear that it's not, what you're thinking it is. But no, if you're having a situationship and you guys are doing all these things and there's no title on it, then do you, but just, you don't want to get strung along, and you don't want to string anyone along either.
Right, exactly. All right, so we kind of talked about this last week, but you also want to be with someone who's able to compromise. So they have to be able to meet you in the middle, because once you get married, there are compromises that are going to be made. You go from solely thinking about, okay, what is it that you need and you want out of life, to, okay, what do we need and we want out of life? And even more when you have kids, that's added on another element to that as well. So you want someone who's able to compromise, someone who's also able to forgive and doesn't hold grudges. Like when you're married, you're with somebody every single day. So you're sitting there, you're holding grudges about things for weeks, months. I mean, that's just
years.
Yeah, some people do that. That's not productive to a relationship. You have to be able to communicate, talk through your issues, come to a solution. You want to try not to go to bed angry. I know you hear people say that all the time, but that really is a real thing, because if you're able to just squash it and settle it before the day is over, you can wake up the next day, it's a brand new day. You don't have to keep carrying this grudge on and on and on. You also want someone who can admit when they're wrong. That's very important. Some people will always make it seem like it's you who are causing the issue, and you can't really do much with that. that type of person, you're always going to be at odds. They're always going to be the victim. And you can't really grow in that type of place. So you need someone who's able to say, you know what, I was wrong. Here's how I'm going to fix it. And in the same way, you need to be able to do that too.
One of the last things, although it may seem like small or even trivial, you have to be attracted to this person.
Yeah.
Like, being attracted to someone is no small detail. You have to like the person that that you're contemplating spending the rest of your life with. You can't get with someone and, this person just has a heart of gold and you're not interested or physically attracted to them, because if that's the case, that will eventually become an issue in some way or some form. So, you got to make sure this is someone that you like as well.
Yeah, that is a good point. So, yeah, I know in the beginning I said, people just focus on the physical. I mean, more, don't make that like
your only choice.
Right. Don't make that the only reason. But absolutely right. You have to be attracted to this person because the physical part, the intimacy, is a huge part of a relationship,
right,
and a huge reason why marriages do end.
Right.
So you have to make sure that romantic aspect is there, and you're not just hoping it'll develop because this person is so nice to you, they treat you like a queen or like a king. I mean, you still have to be real.
You're still your husband or wife.
Right. Don't settle.
Right.
Overall, you're looking for that overall package.
Right.
So it may seem difficult to find, but you also have to see, we didn't say things like, oh, this person drives a BMW, lives in a mansion, things like that, because I strongly believe if that's what you guys want, y'all can work together and get to that point. They don't need to be a bum either, but I think we kind of talked about that in our previous video, so y'all can check that out. But, just don't focus on the materialistic part.
Right.
But so true, attraction is big. And that's initially what's going to get you talking to this person. So that usually is the first step.
One thing that I had on my mind as well. Now, I don't know if this is something that I noticed before we got married, or it was something that maybe together we developed after we got married. But I would say that this may be something to look for if you can. It's somebody that treats you the way that they treat themselves. As trivial as that sounds, and they think of, as trivial as that sounds, you want someone that thinks of you the way they think of themselves. So for an example, for my wife, to me, she's a true equal to me. A true equal to me in every sense of the word. So I won't embarrass her. I won't embarrass her because, in essence, embarrassing her is embarrassing me.
Right.
And I love me. I love me, and you should love you. So you got to understand that your partner is you. Like when they say that this person is you, this is your rib, this is really you. So are you out there embarrassing you?
Right.
Not her. Are you embarrassing you? And as a woman, are you embarrassing you, by embarrassing him? You have to make sure that you're, did you eat? Are you okay? How was your day? And if the person is asking questions like that, and it's not just about the verbal, asking the questions, you can tell if somebody cares about you in a way that they care about themselves. And then you can tell if you're dealing with somebody that doesn't care at all. You can tell if somebody, only cares for you on a surface level, but, they don't necessarily care for you like they care for themselves. Caring for someone the way that you care for yourself is probably one of the biggest indications that this person is for you. So that's definitely something that, again, I don't know if we were like that before we got married. I feel like we were, but definitely now I could see that. Definitely in the way that, I uplift her and she uplift me the same way that, we want to uplift ourselves. Or I consider her like a family member, even though we're together. It's like, she's a part of my family. as well. So you want to definitely have that type of intimacy as well, and that type of goodwill towards your partner. What would you say? What would you say is...
That was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, well, that was really a great point. That's so true, and probably one of the most important things that I didn't even think about. But also, on the opposite of that, there are some people who really have some issues with themselves.
Right.
So if you're seeing that, they can't even love themselves and take care of themselves. They really don't have anything to give to you. So I think it's very important to look at that for both reasons.
How soon did you think that you could marry me? Mm-hmm. And what was one of the indications that made me seem like marriage material to you?
Ooh, wow.
And that's a tough question.
Yeah, because we were dealing with each other for so long, 13 years, on and off. I would say we had like a significant breakup, which was our last breakup right before we really got together. And during that time, that was the longest we ever went without talking to each other, which was only a month. So just to show you. But yeah, we didn't talk. In my mind, I was like, I am really done with Theyre. I'm done with him. I'm moving on. Like, I was just so it really felt over. And when we were able to get back together after that, rekindle our friendship, rekindle our relationship, he surprised me with a birthday party.
And you know what's funny is that was the friendship we rekindled first.
Yeah, we did.
It didn't just start off with us getting right back together.
No, it did.
It was like we was friends.
Right.
And she would ask me like, how's my family? How was this person? How was that person? And it was apparent to me that she cared for me when it didn't even seem like I had a chance of getting back with her. Right. It seemed like she was done. Mm-hmm. She was over me. And I was in her past. But the way that she talked to me made me feel like she still cared about me. Even though, you know, it didn't seem like she wanted to be with me no more. Yeah. It seemed like she still cared about my well-being. And that is something that made me come to my senses, you know?
Yeah, so I guess we kind of realized at the same time, because when we were able to build something after that really was the turning point for me. Like, okay, this is the person I want to be with. Because I had tried dating other people, you know, amongst our off moments, and it just never really... I never cared to the point like how he's describing. Never kept in contact with them. Never felt like I was really missing anything. But I always kept in contact with Theyre throughout everything. We always stayed friends. So that was the indication to me that this is my life partner, because at that point it already felt like we had been life partners. We were growing up together. So that's how I knew this is who I want to marry, and who I want to be with.
Awesome. So, as you can see, there's many different indications that someone can be marriage material. Whether you take one of the things that we said or you look into something else, just make sure that you've thought about it. Make sure that you're not just with someone moving forward, spending time, you know, spending money. Because you're lonely. And it's not someone... and if you are, great, but make sure you're not doing it for the wrong reasons, and make sure you're not doing it expecting something that this person has been clear that, you know, they're not trying to reciprocate. So that's what I would say. Anything from you?
That's it for me. Usually at this point we say what our next topic will be, but I don't think we even decided that.
So there will be a topic coming up soon. How
about we let them throw out some ideas?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, how about you guys go in the comments, throw out some ideas, let us know what you want us to talk about next week.
Got it. All right, well.
Thank you guys for watching Rollins Ever After, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.